Merhaba. It gives me great pleasure to share my ideas about how the fourth industrial revolution will and may have an impact on the gender relations, and particularly the labor market and gender relations in the whole world. So the question starts with, will I still have a job in a stage where machines are talking to each other, where robots are doing the things, where we don't really need people for the things to be done? What's going to happen to me? So in the age of robots talking to robots, what is going to happen to individuals in the labor market? What is going to happen to people who need work to survive, to get a paycheck, to send their children to school, to bring food to the table? Well, it depends. It depends. If you have the skills of tomorrow's business models, you will and you can have a job. Because tomorrow's business models will be completely different than today's and yesterday's business models. We are talking about a world, as I've said, the robots are talking to each other, artificial insemination, artificial intelligence is taking care of most of the stuff. The people really do not really have, the nature of the business doesn't really need individuals to the extent that it needs now. So things are changing. In the fourth industrial revolution, or Industry 4.0, in tomorrow's business, things are changing. And you need to be, I need to be ready for the change. People who are already in the labor market, who already have jobs, people who don't have jobs and getting education, people who are in mid-career, senior people, we all have to think about what will the Industry 4.0 or what will the new industrial relations and industrial revolution bring to us. Well, if I have to summarize, tomorrow's business models will be digitally based, globally planned and locally executed, flexible, sustainable, needs human connection, and most of the time there will be an increase in the pie of sharing economies. So the nature of economy will be different, and it will require these characteristics will require different set of skills. So either you are in mid-career level or senior career level, or if you are just starting out, we all need these skills. Digital literacy. Well, in academia, it used to be people in my age would remember our professors asking their papers to be typed up by the secretaries. It's a totally new word now. Nobody types my papers anymore. So digital literacy is the key. Mobility is another key, because what type of skill is required here or there may be different. So you may not be able to live in the same city that you were born in. You may need to go to another place, another city, another country to make a living. You will need soft skills, probably more than today. The emotional intelligence, empathy, communication, negotiation skills. These skills will be critical for those of you who will be creating this economy, who will be running this economy. Creativity and flexibility, again, will be a critical components of tomorrow's labor market. So in this new economy, in the Industry 4.0, the previously disadvantaged groups, women and the global south, may not be the disadvantaged groups anymore. Previously, today, we already know only 20 to 30% of women are in the labor market. And if we are even talking about the top management positions, we are talking about 1 to 10% of women being in the top management, including politics. But things are changing because the amount of people who will be working, who will have a job, will be the ones who are extremely well-educated ones. And women are having more and more education throughout the world, not only in Turkey. So therefore, women have a better shot in the Industry 4.0 than they have today and yesterday. And furthermore, women have these soft skills, the skills for negotiation, skills for empathy, coming from their primary socialization in the household. So, and the people in the global south, in general, a term used for economically disadvantaged countries, may not be categorically disadvantaged anymore. Because the machinery, the know-how, may be produced from global south with the technologies changing in nature. So we are going towards sharing economies, which are more sustainable, which are digital, global, more ethical, indeed supranational. Airbnb and Uber are just two examples for that. And in this Industry 4.0, especially for the newcomers to the labor market, there will be new areas of work. I'm sure almost all of you have already heard STEM areas, the areas of science, technology, engineering, math. And now the scientists are talking about the significance of art in it. So instead of STEM areas as the rising stars of all technologies and all fields, they are including arts to it. Because art brings creative solutions. Art enhances one's view to look at the complex problems from different angles. So therefore, the arts and humanities are becoming a major part of tomorrow's educations, or they are critical parts of the education of people who will be successful in the Industry 4.0. So what about inequalities? Well, already existing inequalities in the labor market, we already know of, sociologists, between men and women, between poor and rich, between global south and global north, and you can go on and on. The good news is, in this Industry 4.0, the former disadvantaged groups may not be the future's disadvantaged. So there's a window of opportunity for women, global south, and particularly for youth. The bad news is, not everybody will have a job. The unemployment rate will be even worse. Why? Because robots will be doing things with other robots. So there will be small segment of population who will be in charge of making these robots or making these Internet of Things, controlling them, creating them, and organizing them. So there will be more need for further skilled people in STEM areas, and there will be a majority of population who will be lacking all these skills and cannot have access to. So that's why national and supranational bodies already are talking about basic wage for all to boost the economies and to prevent the security challenges. So what we need to do in order to have a job or to keep the job that we have, we need to learn how to sail in this new era. We need to invest in high quality education, especially in STEM areas, and we need to develop soft skills. You need soft skills because in this new era, you cannot just work in your own cubicle. You have to work with others, and therefore with others, sometimes people from other disciplines, people from other companies, people from other nations. So therefore, you need to have these soft skills to have this work easy for all of you. So future, well, definitely the future is going to be different than the past. So I suggest we all be ready for the change and buckle up. Thank you very much for listening.